Friday, I was in my room looking at the F1 2021 game, trying to figure out what video to make. Of course, the Canadian Grand Prix is held this weekend, and I thought it would be fitting to do something on this track. And well, Canada is literally my worst track on the whole game. So I thought it would be interesting to absolutely sweat this track. I could learn it the whole day and see if I could get the world record. This would 100% not be possible for me in the dry, so I'm gonna spend the whole day trying to get the Canadian wet world record. As you can see, the world record right now is an 18.6. We're on equal cars using no ABS, so that's the world record. My last lap here was in October, back when I used the racing line. Since then I've basically not touched Canada, so in my first lap, as you can see here at the start, I still had to figure out the braking points. Crossing the line in my first lap, we're gonna do a 21.9. Of course, as I said, I was still trying to figure out the braking points. And in my third lap, this is my first proper lap that I did, and I'm gonna take you on board. I'm gonna take you on board with about 5 laps this time around. As you could see by the thumbnail, I'm gonna do about 70 laps in this day, and you guys will have to wait and see how close I can get, if I can get the wet world record on Canada here. So going through these corners, you can see decent braking points. You can see struggling a bit with traction, of course, not really used to the wet. These were the first couple of laps of my day, so we weren't really warmed up, but this lap isn't looking too bad, let's be honest. My lap was a 19.3 back in October, and that's what the delta you can see. We're still 10th down on our delta going into this hairpin. Pretty decent, actually, not that bad as I would have expected. You know, I've of course already done all those laps, so when speaking this in at least. So looking at this, it's not even too bad, I gotta be honest. Of course, we're not that far away from the world record already. A 0.6 compared to a 0.3, 19.3 is only about 7 tenths. So 6 tenths, of course, but yeah, we crossed the line. We do a 19.5 for our first lap, and straight away I felt like it was annoying to have that personal best from back then, so we got rid of it. And now we're already moved on to lap 14 here, where I've done a couple of laps more. We do a 19.5 to set the board there. Then in lap 14 here, the lap after that, you can see we were up on our time, and we're gonna encounter, oh my god, this is so crazy. Again, 3 tenths up on our delta, as you can see on the right hand side, but we mess up, as you can see, 3 tenths, and you can see me here. Trying to learn this last chicane is so tricky, it's so annoying. Actually, it was lap 15, I was already starting to get really annoyed by this. And so yeah, I had to take a break, and here I actually took a break. So I skipped this whole break, so you can't see it now, but I cut it, so it was like a 5-minute break. I was kind of done, I wanted to have a break, and this is literally the lap after that. I managed to improve my time. As you can see here, we're gonna skip to the end of the lap. We're gonna improve our time to a 19.4 straight away after the break I took, which moves us up to 132nd. But this is the lap after that, so I'm gonna take you through with this lap, because I'm gonna improve. You can see here, encountering this corner nicely, decent, not too bad. We did a 0.7 in the first sector, just actually a really bad first sector now that I look at it. Then these corners, you can just see it's just not perfect, you know. It has to be perfect for a properly good lap, but here we're gonna gain a lot of time. And then in this corner, we slightly missed the apex there. We get a horrible exit, and we're gonna lose all that time again. And that's kind of the theme for this whole video, actually. We're just gonna gain time, and then we're gonna lose time at other places. Then in this last hairpin, this hairpin was really strange. Sometimes when you go deep, you feel like you've gotten so slow through the corner, but you end up gaining the time on the exit. And yeah, it's just a really strange hairpin, to be honest. Like, I really struggled with the hairpin, and I didn't really expect it. Then going into this last corner, we're not gonna mess it up finally, so we're gonna gain a lot of time back, and we cross the line, and we're gonna do a 19.278 already in lap 19. So another improvement for what was it, 1.5 tenths, and we weren't even 20 laps in. So now lap 22, you can see me mess up the last corner again. We were up on our delta again, lap 23. 2.5 tenths up on our delta, already going below the 19s almost. But then we mess up this last sector. We are still gonna improve on our time, but look how minor. It's such a minor improvement, unfortunately. Which means that, yeah, it's just a small minor improvement, but still, we're 74th on the leaderboard. We're slowly gaining time, and we're only in lap 26. You know, we've still got plenty of time, but I noticed it was getting harder and harder and harder and harder. So lap 26, you can see here, I was up so much on my time, and I actually managed to do the exact same time, 19.240. Managed to do the exact same time as my lap. And here in lap 28, I'm gonna take you through another hot lap. You can see sector 1, really nice first couple of corners, then turning it in here, going over the curbs here, cutting as much as you can, but it's really easy to invalidate, and it's also a blind corner, so it's hard to gain time. We lose time there. We only do a 0.5 first sector. Then in these corners, we slightly gain some time. And then we're gonna encounter this corner in the tunnel. Really hard corner to get right. You want to focus on the exit, of course, in the wet. And we do get a good exit this time. You can just see this delta go up and up, almost 2 tenths up. We actually crossed the 2 tenths marker. We do a 47.504 middle sector split. It's only lap 28, and we can gain 2 tenths, more tenths if we nail this final sector. If we nail this chicane, we can get a low 19. Can we do it? Can we not fuck it up for once? And it looks like, it was really not nice. Really not a nice chicane. You could see that we didn't cut the first corner of the chicane properly. And we end up doing a 19.0. And this is when it actually started to get really hard. Really, really hard. Because, well, I started making mistakes, and I started just focusing down, hammering down, and actually look at the top left now. I'm gonna skip a whole bunch of laps because nothing happened in the meantime. We've done a 0.0 and literally nothing happened, and I was so mad. I started to get so frustrated. Literally hours and hours had passed. Lap 63, I started going to the realistic Red Bull. Realistic Red Bull should be a little bit quicker. It should be faster, so I thought, fuck it. And here you can see all the laps that I've done. All the laps. So many laps, man. And, well, I went to the realistic Red Bull, and honestly, I think if you get used to this car, it could be faster, but I thought, nah, let's not waste that time. I'm just going to the equal. It's not that big of a difference. I did a 0.8 invalid, and I have done a 0.8 invalid also on the equal car. So we're gonna go on board with lap 65 now. I went to the Alpine. You could see that, and this is the first lap I do in the new Alpine car. Remember, I've done from lap 23 to lap 60. I did not improve my time, and then I moved to the Alpine, and you're gonna see me improve my time. But how much can I improve this lap? You can see first sector, we do a 0.474. We are just barely up on our time. We go through these corners nicely, very nicely actually. Looking at the delta, delta is going up and up and up and up. Also on the top left you can see the delta of my rival, but then in this corner we missed the apex again and again. You can see the delta going down and down again. So we're almost matching our previous lap. Then going into this hairpin, which I already said I struggled with this hairpin so much, but we end up gaining some time through the hairpin, and then we're gonna go through the last corner. Don't mess this up, don't mess this up. The hardest corner on the track is the last corner, and you can't fuck it up, and you can gain so much time if you nail it, if you absolutely nail it. But you can see we're just a little bit hesitate. We go through it quite nicely. It's barely the same, and we managed to improve, and I was happy with it. 18.9, we finally improved. 26th on the leaderboard, but it was only lap 66, and now lap 69. Now we're gonna go to lap 70, the lap you've all been waiting for. Can we get this world record? There's so much time in our lap. But we only have to nail every single corner to get this world record. And going through the first sector here. Can we get up on our delta? You can see we get a really good exit. We're going green. We're gonna brake early here, trying to get this exit right. You can cut a little bit more, but we still end up going through that corner decently. We only managed to do a 0.5 though for our first sector, which is not great at all. Then into this sector, can we improve our time? No, we can't. You can see I struggle with that corner, and we're gonna go down on our time. But guys, I almost gave up, and then I somehow absolutely nailed that corner, and we gain all the time back again. You cannot believe this. And then crossing the second sector mark, we're again almost matching our time, but we didn't nail the hairpin. And then I thought, all right, now of all the times, I'm gonna fucking send it through this last chicane. I'm gonna absolutely send it and hope for the best. And that's exactly what I did. And you can see here, I absolutely nailed it. That was the best chicane I've ever had. And we gain all the time back, and we cross the line, and we're gonna do an 18.888, which, yeah, at the time I took this, man. I had to go. It was 6 p.m. I started in the midday, like at 12. Took me the whole day to get this lap, and yeah, so much time in it. If you want to see me try and improve this even, then I can go and try and do that. Only 2/10 away from the world record. I'm pretty pleased with that on my worst track. I hate this track. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, tick that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time.